Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Stepping Up to the Plate. So glad you could join us. I'm your host, Michael Vega, joined here on the dais by my main man, Al Prizzuti, with so much to discuss and catch up on with the Patriots going to 8-2. Unbelievable win down in Tampa Bay. The Milton Wildcats also winning, advancing to the next round of the playoffs, and another home game coming up against Masconomet, the 6th-seeded Chieftains, both teams 8-1. And a special shout-out at the top of the show to the Milton High boys and girls swim teams for outstanding performances at the South Sectionals Sunday at MIT. And special shout-out to the boys who won the South Sectionals, and with some unbelievable performances from Ryan Kelly, who won the 100 freestyle and the 50 freestyle. Matt Twitchell, who's a winner in the 500 freestyle. Kyle Fan with the victory in the 100 backstroke. And then there was the, who else? Well, the team result, Milton wound up finishing with 319 points, 10 ahead of Brookline. And so there was also Deacon O'Riordan with a runner-up finish in the 100 butterfly. So not to be discounted there. And of course, then the 200-meter medley relay, Milton won over Walpole handily in 1 minute, 49 seconds, 49.83 seconds, I should say. So great performances there by the boys. They will move on. And on the girls' side, Milton was led by none other than Allison Boynton, who had a victory in the 100 backstroke over Evie Gao of Framingham. 58.58 seconds was her winning time in the 100 back. And then she finished runner-up in the 100 butterfly in 1 minute, 0.38 seconds. So congratulations to those young athletes, and they deserve our applause on that. And of course, the other team that deserves our applause, Al, is the Milton High football team. They're ranked or seeded third in the Division III playoffs. Had a big win last week, coming off their opening victory against Reading, or actually the opening victory against Reading, 42-12, Al. Unbelievable. Reading came in here, 14th seed, upset-minded, and scored the first touchdown of the game on a 70-yard screen pass from Dom Pate from Will Shute, Dom Pate. That game featured the top two quarterbacks in Division III in Patrick Collins and Will Shute from Reading. Patrick Collins, Milton's quarterback extraordinaire, threw for 3 touchdown passes in that game, connecting twice on 16-yard touchdowns to Ronan Salmon. And he also had a later 47-yard touchdown at the end of the game to Noah Woodley. Unbelievable performance there for the Wildcats, who just blew out Reading. After Reading went up 6-0, Milton blocked the PAT and then scored 28 unanswered points, Al, to take a big 28-12 lead at the half. So, and then they just ran away with it. Now they will come back and host the 6th-seeded Masconomet Chieftains, who are also 8-1, and they are led by Jack Fabiano. Get this, Al. Jack Fabiano, all he did last week in a 35-14 win over Melrose was run for 332 yards and score 5 touchdowns. He scored on a 69-yard run, a 4-yard run, a 16-yard run, 19 and 35-yard run in the fourth quarter. So I would venture to guess that Milton defensive coordinator Dan Jarboe is going to be focused on that guy, on stopping that guy, because if they can stop him, they'll likely be able to stop the Masconomet Chieftains. And of course, they're 6th seeded. They're coming in to Brooksfield for a big playoff game here in the MIA Division III playoffs. And the winner of that game will move on to the Final Four, the semifinals, Al. And you get that much closer to going back to Gillette. So it's going to get really intense here. And again, it's going to be a big home game for the Wildcats, and it'll be shown live here on Milton Access TV, Channel 22, on Friday night, 7 o'clock, I believe the game is at. Why don't you tune in at 6 just in case? and if you do, you'll catch our show. So we'll be discussing that. But Al, I want to bring you in here to talk a little bit, some more football. Your New England Patriots out 8-2, 10 games into the season. And, you know, all throughout the season, as they kept piling up wins, you know, after their 1-2 start here, people kept asking, well, are they for real? Are they for real? Al, I would submit to you that no longer is a question for me.
Yeah,
they're for real.
I think the bigger question wasn't were they for real, was their schedule that easy? You know, everybody had said that they had one of the easy, and they do.
Yeah.
But you got to win, and that's the point. They have won, and they've won pretty decisively. I mean, they haven't been out of any game.
Nope.
In this current streak of 7.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they got the game against the Jets Thursday night, so we'll see how they do after 3 or 4 days, because they played Sunday.
Tough turnaround for the Patriots after that win at Tampa.
It could be. It could be. But, you know, it's an interesting team to watch, and it's one of these things where, and we'll get into what the Bruins have done, because I think there's so many parallels.
Yes, I agree.
But, you know, 2 years, nobody's watched them. Or if they watch them, they only watch to see how bad they were. And now everybody's watching to see how good they are. So that's a huge turnaround. And, you know, I think a lot's got to go. You got to say that Vrabel, Josh McDaniel,
yeah.
I mean, those two guys have been really the cornerstone for why they're where they are, because you got a young quarterback, and he doesn't look young. I mean, he really
he's playing with a veteran savvy. It seems like on how to attack.
That's Josh though, because he's calling the plays, and you know, at the start of the game Sunday, he was, which is what he does a little, is overthrow. Until he gets down, and the weather was part of the reason, but the balls sail on him.
A little bit.
But when he's on long passes,
Al, he dropped several dimes in that game.
As good as it gets.
The first one, and in third and longs, he converts a couple of third and longs in that game. The first one that was the most dynamic one of all was to Kyle Williams, the rookie. He throws him across, and he was like the second or third read on that particular play, where, you know, he could have like gotten out of the pocket, but what he did smartly was stepped up into the pocket and delivered a strike, and he hit Williams where Williams could turn and burn, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
You know, and I love those kind of throws out where you put your receivers in a position to gain yards after catch.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing, though. I mean, what this guy, Stephon Diggs,
money player.
Real money.
Money player.
That play he made, the catch he made, at a key time, incidentally.
Touchdown, yes.
Not only did he go up and get it, he came down with his feet in.
Secured the ball. He did everything a receiver has to do in that instance. And Al, I would submit to you that play in that series will go down as a defining moment of this season, because it was a big game that they had to have on the road against a tough NFC opponent, and it was a situation where Vrabel showed his courageousness. He showed that he was a risk taker, but a calculated risk taker, I think.
He's nuts.
You know, but Al, the first play they take a sack to kill the clock, to make them burn a timeout. So then they run the two plays in there. They soften him up inside. They get him to bite on the play action, which they run beautifully, and it was beautifully executed from their best player to their best receiver. You know, and like you mentioned, he threw it to a spot where only Diggs was going to get it, and only Diggs could come down with it. And that was a brilliant executed play. And if it had gone the other way, we would have been criticizing Vrabel. But you know what? I would not have
I
criticized
don't
him
think
because you know
anybody
what?
would have criticized him.
I'm not criticizing him for going for it there.
No, I don't either, because
Yeah.
I think, first of all, even if they didn't succeed, you got to go 98 yards.
Correct.
I mean, which
With
is
no time left.
not easy.
Yeah.
But I think people forget a little. The big play was sacking the quarterback.
To take them out of field goal range.
Not only take them out of, then they got the ball back, and then Henderson. I mean, him running down the sidelines and then looking over to Vrabel to say,
That was at the end of the game, yeah.
Should I go in or should I stop?
Al. Just to go back.
I've never seen anybody.
Well, there
do
was
that.
when he came in, and granted, the Patriots are down now in personnel. They didn't have any deep threat receiver. Well, they did have deep threat receivers, but possession type receivers. Keyshawn Boutte, he was out. Ramondre Stevenson, a guy who can run between the tackles, move the pile, he was out. So they were having to do it with a rookie and a practice squad guy, and a guy that they just picked up off the waiver wire. Mm-hmm. All right. So I kept wondering, what's the point of running Trayvon Henderson into the pile like that?
No.
You're just going to get him banged up. I mean, play to his strengths. And you know what? Brilliantly, Josh McDaniels did just that. He got him on the edge. He got him on the perimeter.
Well,
let him do his
it's an
damage.
interesting thing, though. And you look at that play, though.
Yeah.
He was actually.
He did run in between the tackle.
He deked it.
Yeah.
And went outside after he was.
Well, he attacked it inside and then went
He's
outside.
got speed. So
But-
when he runs on that side, he
But the
outruns them.
Touchdown you're referring to at the end, when they line up in an I formation with Tonga as his fullback, I'm sitting at the screen there, Al. I'm yelling, toss sweep to Henderson, toss sweep to Henderson. And lo and behold, they go and they toss sweep to Henderson. Al, what does he do? Turns and burns, Al. He's gone. And as he's going in, he turns to the sideline. He's like motioning, like, should I go? And I'm like, yeah, go. Definitely score, guy. You earned it.
I mean, it wasn't. I just think it was a young kid.
Well, wanting to make sure he did the right thing.
Doing the right thing.
He
and
wants to
looks
do the right
over
thing.
and they're going like this. And
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels, they're all. But
Everyone feels good about that.
You
But
know,
hey, the kid showed what he could do, and it
But
was
you
like
see,
it was a rookie day
if
there.
they had Ramondre Stevenson on those plays where they went off tackle 3 times and didn't get in, Ramondre would have been a better option there.
to pound it in.
Yeah, because
Yes,
he's
yes,
stronger.
yes.
So they didn't have
yes.
him, and after the third one, I mean, going to Steppin, I mean, Diggs he's a terrific player, and
But they ran the perfect route. A little comeback. He ran
Yeah,
a stop fade, and then he ran back to the corner. So
look at the kid for Tampa there, Lofton. Was it Lofton or
Emeka Egbukwe.
no, the other one, the one that had eight catches. I mean, he's a tough kid.
Oh,
I mean,
tight end Otten.
I think Otten,
the tight end,
I mean,
yes.
he made some catches.
Yeah.
I mean, when they needed it. I mean, he kept them in the game.
So did Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's tough, man. You know,
yeah,
I
he's
mean,
a tough
he was used to bringing them back, and so when he had a chance to do that, after they came back and scored to make it a 5-point game.
Not tackling him. If they didn't tackle him on that play, I mean,
Right.
don't forget they weren't that far away.
No, and that
there was
took them
some
a little
time
bit
left.
out of field goal range. Yeah, but it was an exciting win, Al, and lo and behold, Al, the next day, everyone is talking about the Patriots as not only a potential number 1 seed in the AFC East, maybe a contender for the AFC crown, and a possible Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, they've got the best record. They're
team.
one of 3 or 4 teams with the best record.
Well, it's funny, at the end of that game, clearly Mike Vrabel now has become a fixture of greeting his players as they walk up the field. He kept chanting them, NFC champs, NFC South champs. And you know what? He's not entirely wrong about that, because if you look at the schedule, look who they beat. On the 28th September, Carolina, 42-13. All right? And then they're at New Orleans. They beat them 25-19. And then the next game, they beat Atlanta at home, 24-13. And then to sweep the NFC South, they beat Tampa in Tampa. So 5 wins against the, they beat the entire NFC South. So yeah, I think they are, and they're not only going to be AFC East champions, they're the NFC South champions too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think kudos to Vrabel and Josh McDaniels. You got to look at it. And the defense. Don't forget the defensive guy had to leave because of prostate issues.
Yes, and they locked them down now. They're the number 1 rushing defense right now in the league, and boy, they lock down teams. They really do. But here, let me ask you something, Al. Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year?
Yeah, right now.
Right?
I don't think there's anybody better.
There was no more telling a statistic that would be in support of that than this one. Right now, through 10 games, the New England Patriots have won as many games as they have the past 2 seasons combined.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. He's made them legitimate team, a team that can win.
Yeah.
Every game they can win. They beat Buffalo. They beat Tampa. They've beaten some iron, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they've had an easy schedule.
Look
but in
Atlanta,
other years,
24-23.
Yeah, in other years, they would play the worst team and look even worse than those teams. So,
but Al, they could have been undefeated
different.
Right now. They gave away that game against the Raiders.
Yeah, well, the first, yeah.
You commit 5 turnovers against Aaron Rodgers, but you still are in that game. It's 21-14. Well,
that's what I'm saying. They're competitive and they're in every game. And a little of it is, Drake May's been terrific. Don't get me wrong. But they got guys that can catch the ball too. I mean, they've got a lot of, and what's his name? Hoop is going to be out Thursday. But they got Hunter Henry, who's been terrific.
But they may get Ramondre Stevenson back.
Ramondre and Booty. And Booty are both back.
So
both were on
those
the
guys are.
field. Let me put it that way.
Those guys can definitely. And right now, the guy who leads the team in yards after catches is Stephon Diggs with 180 right now. And right behind him is Hunter Henry. Henry with 158.
Yeah.
So those guys are big for Drake May, when you look at it. But
Diggs is the potential touchdown, if you wanted to look at it, and Hunter Henry's the potential first down.
Yeah.
A little different.
Unbelievable. But you look at the schedule now for them, with the Jets on the short week here, playing tomorrow at Foxborough. Then they go to Cincinnati on the 23rd, right before Thanksgiving. And then they're off until the 1st when they host the New York Giants in a Monday night football game, Al. And then they're going to host the Buffalo Bills after another long week. They have a long week there. I think that they get their bye then, right? They might have a bye.
They might have the bye this week.
Yeah.
After this.
Well, a mini bye they do.
Yeah.
I think they do have a mini bye. Or actually, they will. They will. And so then they get the Giants, and then they host the Bills, who are depleted. Shocking loss. Took a shocking loss to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I would say, though, that the Bills will be out for revenge.
And then you've got Buffalo and then you have at Baltimore on the 21st of December, a team that's on the rise now with the return of Lamar Jackson. So you wonder, what kind of team they're going to be.
They could lose a couple of these games. Then watch out for Miami, because
Miami, that could be a trap game. That could be a trap game.
Though, so
that's going to be here, and that'll be after going to the Jets on the 28th. So that's going to be an interesting schedule, the way that kind of plays out. But Al, to your point about a comparison that you made with the Bruins,
I was thinking about this morning.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about a parallel, you had a team that didn't make the playoffs in the Patriots last year, won 4 games. You had a team like the Bruins who missed the playoffs for the first time. They both went out and got new head coaches.
Yep.
You've got Vrabel and you got Marco Sturm.
Yep.
Then you look at what they've done. The Patriots have won 7 games in a row. The Bruins have just reeled off 7 in a row. They won 3 at the start of the season. A little different from the Pats, who went and had a couple of losses.
Yeah, 1 and 2 at the start.
But then they went on a 6-game losing streak, and everybody said if they don't go on a winning streak, they could be over by Thanksgiving. And what do? They win 7.
Patriots have won 7.
I went and watched the game Saturday night against Toronto, and I said, this is a game that they could easily lose. Playing
yes.
up in Toronto.
Yeah.
You know, Toronto had lost 2 in a row, and the Bees beat them. Come back here 3 days later, and play the same team at home who has something to prove, and they lose again.
Yeah.
So the Bruins are playing structured hockey. They're checking all over the ice.
All over the ice.
And the Patriots are playing structured football.
On defense.
So when you look at this, and the Patriots have Pasta.
The Bruins have Pasta.
I mean, yeah, the Bruins have Pasta. The Patriots have Drake May.
Yeah.
You got Geeky. You got Stephon Diggs.
Playmakers.
You've got guys that are different on this team. New guys that are playing for the Patriots that are different than what we've seen.
Sure.
Henderson, Douglas, a lot of these guys that are playing terrific. We didn't even know who they were. And the same thing with the Bruins. You got this kid Milton, who Marco Sturm said has been the best player on the ice in a lot of games.
Oh, without a doubt.
I don't know about the best player on the ice, but he's
you know
all over the ice.
I mean, he's all over the ice. He's checking hard. He's hustling. And then he scored that last goal in Toronto in front of his family, which was a beautiful thing to see.
That's a great parallel.
Yeah.
And the last parallel that I had is, did you watch the Patriots last year? Did
Hardly.
you care about them?
Hardly, yeah.
Did you watch the Bruins at the end of the season
Lost
last
interest.
year? When
Lost
the Bruins gave up Marchand at the end of the year and gave all those players away, everybody went, oh, what are they doing? They're probably saying, okay, we need to rebuild. Well, rebuild they did with Marco Sturm in a system.
Yes.
Hockey's a system.
Yeah.
If you don't stay with it, and I listened to Sturm this morning, and I like what he said. He said, we're up 2 goals. He said, and I was saying, boy, these guys are playing well. They're checking. They're hard to play against.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden he said, I get nervous when you're up 2 because guys start to relax a little.
Right.
He said, but that's a teaching moment for me. He said, we will look at the tape and see what happened between the first period where they were outstanding, or at least better than Toronto.
Right.
And then Toronto came on strong. They had to because they were down.
Yeah.
But why did the Bruins not check as hard? Because they probably relaxed a little. So he's going to watch this, and then he's going to say to them, this is where you need to tighten up, right here.
And here's the other similarity, Al. Both Marco Sturm and Mike Vrabel, former players, played for those teams. And you know what? In hockey, it's a system. In football, it's culture.
Yeah.
And both of them have instilled their own system and their own culture. And you saw that, and you've seen that on the ice and on the gridiron, how effective that is. And they're all buying into that message. They're buying into the system. They're buying into the culture. They have people in that room for the Bruins who are promoting the system.
Yeah.
Who are actually making it work. Guys like Geeky, like Pasta, Kastelik, Pavel Zacha,
Zacha's been playing well all year.
Milton, Kuzidnov, I think, say his name fast 3 times.
You know what?
He's a player, man.
Not only is he a player, but he's very fast.
And aggressive.
And he's not that big, but he's all over the ice.
All over the ice.
He checks. I like the fact that when you look and see his guy, so to speak, gets the puck, he's right on him.
And that line, that fourth line with Corrali, and they're just as effective as anybody.
They're back checking, they're forechecking. They're not letting the guys come out of the zone.
Easy.
That's what the real problem was with the Bruins the last couple of years.
Oh.
How easy they came out and how difficult it was for the Bruins to come out.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's completely flipped. The Bees are coming out of the zone a lot easier. And the other teams are having trouble getting
They're making
out.
the diagonal pass in the neutral zone, and they're making an easier entry into the offensive zone.
I have 2 questions for them, or 2 concerns for them. One is the defense, including a little. McAvoy hasn't really played as well. I don't know if he's still a little.
Well, he sat out. He sat out that game Saturday.
He let the 1 goal. That was his fault last night.
He dangled that.
And Zadorov wants to hit too much.
Yeah.
He did not fight that guy.
Ty
last
Domi
night.
was his former teammate. So he showed incredible restraint there because
Well-
you know what? That put them on the power play that led to a
Yeah,
goal.
I mean, he didn't even drop his gloves.
No,
I mean, he just
no,
pushed
he would
him
have
down
destroyed. He
afterwards.
would have destroyed that guy.
But
know?
anyways, I look and I say, you know, I like watching the Bruins. I like watching the Patriots. I watched the Celtics last night again.
Yeah.
They're getting out-rebounded, first of all.
Well, that's how they lost. They got
Out-rebounded.
out-rebounded on a key defensive rebound there.
And again, their threes are gone.
Well,
last night, White came in the second half with it, but they're not shooting.
You know,
well
Hauser
from
hit
three.
it. You know, they're streaky right now as 3-point shooters, but it's interesting. I want to circle back to
just one thing on
the Bruins.
Marco Sturm. Marco Sturm, don't forget, came when Joe Thornton was traded,
and they're both
he
in
made the Hall of Fame, and
Fame.
he mentioned the Bruins last night in the speech. I listened to it,
Yeah,
and but it's kind of interesting because Joe spent 7 years here.
yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
he had some
grew up-
numbers
he
here.
grew up here too. Yeah,
And he was talking about Johnny Busick as being his favorite.
yeah,
Was a mentor for him.
right.
But then, you know, he said, I really didn't want to leave the Bruins at the time. But it's fascinating as heck when you see Marco Sturm was the guy that came. Marco was a good player, but he wasn't a great player.
He wasn't Joe
was a
Thornton.
Hall of Famer.
Right.
But,
Well, I'll tell you who's having a Hall of Fame career right before our eyes is David Pastrnak with his 400th goal. Al, a thing of beauty that was. The way he scored on the rush, the solo rush with the dangle and the beautiful little tuck job, you know, I mean,
well, the beauty of watching the game on TNT, I think it was last night. It wasn't on Nesson.
yeah,
And I like both, don't get me wrong, but the beauty of watching it with in between periods with Gretzky and that group
yeah,
is you get a different perspective. They're more into all sides of the thing, whereas
Right.
you watch the Bruins, it's the Bruins that they're worried about.
correct.
But they talked about Pasta last night, how, and the goalie, I forget his name, but the goalie.
He was a backup goalie because remember they chased the starter.
No,
Stolarz.
this is the guy that was on the show I'm talking about. One of the guys I think was a goalie for
Henrik Lundqvist.
Yeah, Lundqvist.
Yeah.
He said if you watch Pasta keeps the puck toward the end of his stick. You don't know if he's going to pass it.
Yes.
You don't know if he's going to shoot.
Brilliant.
He said, and he said everybody talks about his goal scoring ability, but the guy can pass.
Yes.
And he's checking,
Yeah.
which is stuff that you wouldn't imagine for Pasta. He's not that physical.
And it was brilliant insight from a goaltender like Henrik Lundqvist. But
So we can not worry about the Patriots. We can't not worry yet. I should say yet because it's still only 18 so games in for the Bruins.
Celtics are a work in progress, Al.
I think
They're going to struggle against teams that can rebound the ball. That's clear. I mean,
Yeah,
they're going
well,
to
the
have
question-
they're going to struggle against the Thunder. They're
They
going to
are-
struggle against Cleveland, I think. But
And
they
then
beat
the Red
Cleveland.
Sox, I think you need to figure out who the heck they're going to get.
Yeah.
And it looks like Bregman's gone.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with that if he wants
If he wants out, that's fine.
6 years and
Yeah.
$190 billion. I wouldn't give it to him.
Well, that's going to do it for us. And I want to thank you for spending your time. I want to remind you, Friday night at Brooks Field, a big, important Division III not a semifinal, Division III playoff game between the host Milton Wildcats, the 3 seed, versus the number 6 seed Masconomet Chieftains. Both teams 8-1. It's going to be an important game. It'll be here on Milton Access TV. But hope you can get down there, Brooks Field, and be loud, be proud, everybody. All right. We'll see you next time here on Stepping Up to the Plate. Take care.